What is going on, everybody? It is the Tuesday morning edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kawaisenberg DFS, and we've got Hugo reading my mind in the FTN Fantasy Discord right now. So if you are a member here at FTN Fantasy and you are in that channel, you know what the first three picks are gonna be here today. But we've got some WNBA picks, some MLB picks. Excited to get into it. Congratulations to the Boston Celtics. NBA season is over, but we're only 8 days away from the NBA draft, which is a 2-night event this year, which I don't think I'm a fan of, but we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, Hugo in here. That was well done, my friend. Well done. Good to see Zach in here. Let us cook today. Hey, I'm with you. Peyton Pritchard came up a little bit short for us yesterday. Kayla McBride, like I said in the Pick'em Games channel last night, she hasn't taken off the Like Mike shoes yet, apparently. I'm going to stay on those Kayla McBride unders. We'll see when the links are on a slate. Might be tomorrow. 2 games in the W here tonight. Pretty full MLB slate, it looks like. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And before we get into the picks today, let's do this now. If you have not signed up yet at PrizePicks, you can do so by using the promo code FTN. It will get you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100 at sign up. You can get the same deal over on Sleeper. You download the Sleeper app, use that same promo code FTN, 100% deposit match bonus up to $100 with Sleeper. And then if you go over, or rather, if you have not joined our friends at Underdog Fantasy yet, same promo code FTN at sign up with Underdog. That will get you a 50% deposit match bonus, but that's up to $250. And all new customers right now at Underdog Fantasy going to receive a special discounted pick. So you get both of those things, the 50% deposit match bonus up to $250 and the special discounted pick with that promo code FTN by signing up with Underdog Fantasy. Finally got that banner updated, and we are just hovering above that 60% line, 436 and 290 here over the last, I think, 3.5 months or so since we unveiled the new PrizePicks prop tool here at FTN Fantasy. And that's where we will start here today on the MLB side with the MLB tool here. And we'll open up, we'll see the number one pick right now in the tool is a more than selection on Tristan McKenzie and his fantasy score prop of 26.5. Now you've got McKenzie, Guardians favored here this evening, hosting the Mariners on Tuesday. Implied run total in this one of 8.5. To be honest, this is one that we've got 6 picks here on the stream this morning. Taco Tuesday over there on PrizePicks, right? We might see a discount pop up on Underdog as well. We'll see. But this is probably my least favorite of the 6 picks that we have here today. If you need one, or if you need to drop one and get one of those taco discounts in there, it's not that I dislike this pick, not at all. I'm just a little bit skeptical in terms of this being the strongest play on the board. Obviously, you can see the FTN projection model here on the MLB side has him for just shy of 33.5 fantasy score. So it makes sense to me why this is, with that projection, why this is such a strong pick, just over 70% in terms of the win percentage there in the tool. McKenzie has not been great this year, right, through his first 13 starts, striking out a career low number of batters per 9 innings, almost a 5 xFIP. But again, when I get to a point like this, I lean into the model, what it's seeing, what it's spitting out. And the fact that, look, man, Hugo, you might as well just be my co-host today, my friend, because if you look over at Underdog Fantasy, and this is always just a good little extra cookie, right? When you're looking at a prop like this and you have any sort of hesitation, that you are getting a point of value here on PrizePicks where his line is 26.5, 27.5 over there on Underdog. So I have this 6-pick play in already on PrizePicks this morning. I actually took the same entry with that 27.5 line over there on Underdog this morning as well. Because again, I'm never going to recommend plays that I'm not playing myself, but I just, of course, when I'm not over the moon about a play, which again, this one, just like what McKenzie has put out there so far this year, I'm not jumping for joy at this pick, but again, the model loves this. So meeting in the middle, putting that in there as our first pick. And then we're going to get a little bit of correlation, which this pairing, I was penalized on Underdog as is tradition over there. PrizePicks, I still got a nice 25x entry in with these 6 picks, including these 2. So we can go back to the tool, and this is the second strongest pick in the model right now, is a less than selection on Tobias Myers and his outs prop of 16.5. Model has him right at 14.5 outs here today. I believe hosting the Angels here. No, on the road, actually. But Brewers favored here, for what it's worth. Griffin Canning on the bump for the Angels. Implied run total here of 9. And again, leaning into the model here. And I don't know if our buddy Anthony is listening in, but he was giving me crap last night saying no Tobias Harris talk on the playback stream. Well, we've got some Tobias talk here on the PrizePicks prop show. Tobias Myers, less than 16.5 outs here. And so what I'm going to do now is go into the tool. We're going to filter down to the Brewers and Angels, and we're going to look for some correlation from the Angels batters here. And you can see you've got Ward, Hop, Rengifo there. Taylor Ward is the strongest play here. Hits plus runs plus RBI, line set at 1.5. You can see the model has him at 2.3 right now. So we slot Ward in there. And that's going to give us a correlation bonus here in the tool of plus 4.4%. You've got the win rate with this 3 pick right around 34.5%. True odds plus 189. Power play EV of plus 72.8%. So the tool loves this trio of MLB picks. That means I do as well. And again, right now, over on PrizePicks, I was not penalized for pairing those 2 guys together. So we like that, especially over there on PrizePicks. Let's shift to the WNBA tonight. We've got a 2-game slate here in the W. One game that projects to be really entertaining, one that doesn't. Liberty and Mercury. Liberty 5-point road favorites there in the nightcap. That's a 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Huge implied total here, 170. That's pretty high for a WNBA game, getting into the 170s. The early game, you can see a significant difference. So for you DFSers out there tonight, 14-point home favorites are the Sun with the Sparks in town. 153.5 implied total. One of the lowest, if not the lowest implied total that I've seen so far this season. So let's start in that first game. And I'm going to start with the rookie, Rickea Jackson. And we're going to go back to her less than on her fantasy score. And that line is set at 20.5 this morning. So there we go. Yeah, we're here, baby. It's WNBA time. Rickea Jackson has been pretty darn good so far this season as a rookie for this Sparks team that is very much in flux. This is pretty much a rebuilding year for them. And over the last 2 games, she's played a much bigger role minutes-wise than what we've seen. So that is my one hesitation here, that 30 minutes, then 34 minutes against the Dream last time out on Sunday. Only one other time this season, and that was the 3rd game of the year back on May 21st against the Mystics. That's the only other time we saw Jackson go over 27 or 28 minutes, rather. Even if this extended run that she's gotten over the last pair of games, even if this is for real, Jackson has not been a good fantasy producer so far this year. 0.66 PrizePicks fantasy score points per minute. So even if we give her 30 minutes here today, she projects well under this number. And she's just proven to be a fantasy asset that can disappear at times. And she's also had some good performances in much less time, right? Like you look back against the Aces in that surprising victory over the defending champs. She was 7 of 11 from the field, just under 23 minutes, but gives you more than 26 PrizePicks fantasy scores. So like, can she get hot from the field absolutely, and get over this number. But I want to say she's only over this number in 4 games this year. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 of 14 outings so far this year. And again, over in the last 2. I'm just not buying that type of production from her quite yet. And she's been shooting extremely well over the last 2, again, 13 of 23 from the field. And she's gotten to the line 9 times. This is not a player that has been getting to the charity stripe a ton. So Rickea Jackson, less than 20.5 fantasy score. And then I'm going to go over to the other side. And it looks like literally while we were live, this pick got taken down. So again, we've got 6 total picks, including this one. I think you can still get this over on Underdog at 25.05 fantasy score. And I like the over selection, or the more than selection rather, on Brianna Jones and that fantasy score prop of 25 or 25.05 over there on Underdog. Again, the Sun team, massive 14-point home favorites here. Again, it's a 40-minute game in the W, and we've seen the minutes restriction come off of Jones over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think from a projection standpoint, she probably is just a hair over this 25 number, but it is a very, very good matchup here. We know that Jones can rack up the stocks with the best of them. I think this line is at least a point, maybe a 1.5 or 2 too low, given the matchup, given the minutes we're seeing. Like, we saw them take Alyssa Thomas out in garbage time before Jones on Saturday, that was, against Dallas, where they just absolutely beat up on the Wings on the road. So here, back at home, again, easy matchup here in the front court, Hamby and Brink. Like, I would be shocked with how much foul trouble we've seen Cameron Brink get in this year. I would be very surprised if she doesn't find herself, kind of hacking her way to a lower minutes load here tonight, again, against Jones and Thomas in this front court. Nelson Adota coming off the bench. I like the more than selection here on Brianna Jones and her fantasy score prop. And then we've got a trio of fantasy score props here this morning. And of course, if we have any others throughout the day, and I believe Stanley Cup final back underway tonight, so maybe we can get the great Chris Meany to drop in some of his NHL plays into that Pick'em Games channel of the FTN Fantasy Discord. And speaking of that, right, if you have not joined us yet at FTN Fantasy, you can sign up. And again, to me, the best value we have here pretty clearly is that VIP Plus subscription, annual subscription. It gets you access to everything we have here at FTN Fantasy. It's $299.99 for the year, so right around $25 a month. You're going to get access to all of our season-long content, our betting, our daily fantasy, all of our advanced statistics, projection models, access to all of our Discord channels, right, including that Pick'em Games channel, where we will get additional plays throughout the day. So again, you want to sign up month to month, got to add a few more shekels onto that price. But again, new pricing model here over the last couple months. I think it's been pretty darn good. And you can see, and Hugo, always keeping in mind, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow the show. So we appreciate any and all of that you would do for us. And we hope to see you over here at FTN Fantasy if you're already not a member with us. Let's close it out here. We'll put that in the rear view. Last pick of the stream here today. We're going to that second game, Liberty and the Mercury. Of course, Brittany Griner is back. Courtney Vandersloot, doubtful to make her return tonight. She's missed the last 4 games for this Liberty team. They really have not skipped a beat. They have won, I believe, 8 in a row here on the year. Big win over Vegas on Saturday. And we're going to go to Benijah Laney here, more than 24.5 fantasy score. The minutes are extremely solid. It's interesting that a couple players on this team don't get noticeable usage bumps, fantasy rate bumps. Laney is one of them. Jonquel Jones is one of them. But Laney is going to play massive minutes as long as this game stays competitive. And it's just a 5-point spread in favor of the visiting Liberty. And Laney, over this number in 3 of the last 4 without Courtney Vandersloot. And the one game that she didn't go over, she still gave you 22 PrizePicks fantasy score points. She only shot once against the Mystics in that one. 5 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, and a steal. She has had at least 1 steal in all but 2 of her 14 games so far this season. Again, you see her getting on the boards. You see the assists tick up with no Sloot, 4, 6, 6, and 3 over the last 4 games. This is, again, in that game where she only shot once and gave you 5 real points, 22 fantasy score points here. She also had 7 turnovers, which is by far her season high. Only one other time in these 14 games was she over 3 turnovers. So, again, that is an outlier. 1 field goal attempt, she has shot at least 7 times in the other 13 games we have seen this season. So, I don't hate the more than selection on her 12.5 points, but I slightly prefer the fantasy score prep here this morning more than 24 on PrizePicks. I believe it's 24.05 over there on Underdog. So those are the 6 picks I have here this morning. Again, I know Brianna Jones has come down for the moment over here on PrizePicks. We will be keeping our eye on that to see if it pops back up. If that repopulates even at a different number, we will reassess. And of course, we'll keep looking at everything on the board, anything new that pops up through all sports. And again, I'm hoping that Chris Meany drops in with some additional NHL plays, because Taco Tuesday, we know we're going to want to put in entries for all of those discounts. You got to love a Tuesday here on the PrizePicks Prop Show at FTNFantasy.com. That'll do it for me. Again, you've got me on a triple header here. I will be back tomorrow. More WNBA, MLB. We've got midweek MLS, and I know our one MLS pick from a few weeks ago did not come through, but we're going to see if there's anything we can find there. Again, kind of diversify our picks here on Wednesday. That does it for the Tuesday stream. I appreciate you tuning in, whether you caught the stream live or on the replay, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. And of course, good luck tonight, everybody.